Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to PBA at Noon. I'm Paul Benwell, and I'm joined today by my colleague, Sophie Caesar. Today, we have with us a longtime favorite, Good Natured Products, GDNP on the Venture Exchange. Good Natured produces and distributes one of North America's widest assortment of eco-friendly home and business product, food packaging, restaurant takeout containers, medical industrial supplies, all designed to do good for the planet. They recently announced a $3.5 million brokered private placement led by Fabian Evans at Integral Wealth in association with Canaccord. Here to talk to us about the raise and what's in the pipeline for Good Natured is CEO Paul Antoniadis. Thanks for joining us today, Paul, and go ahead with your presentation, and we'll take some questions at the end. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Thank you, Paul and Sophie for holding this event. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the time, for taking the time to learn a little bit about the Good Natured business. We're here today not only to share our business strategy and operations, but we're seeking participation in the $3.5 million equity round that Paul spoke to. The private placement is priced at 14 cents with a half a warrant at 21 cents. The round has been open for about 3 weeks. It's going quite well. We're got about 60, a little over 2/3 of it indicated. And for folks that after the call are interested, please contact Spencer Churchill, who has joined me on the call today. Spencer is our Director of IR, and he can facilitate your placement and coordinate it with Fabian Evans. So let's just jump into our vision and what we call our North Star at Good Natured. Paul had indicated this earlier, that we're on a mission to become North America's leading earth-friendly product company. And we're going to do that by developing the largest assortment of plant-based products and packaging that can be used inside your homes as consumers every day, and or within your operation that you work at or you own. And we're going to do that in a two-prong approach. We're going to do that organically, where we use our material engineers, our packaging engineers to develop the best design products at the highest possible plant-based content. We're going to use that product authority to go and acquire, food producers, retailers, food growers, small businesses. And once we establish a relationship with them, they typically buy, 2 products or 1 or 2 products. We build commercial trust, and we begin our cross-selling strategy to those customers. Our second prong approach is through acquisitions. We want to be an early consolidator in the market, where we acquire, could be a plant-based company that's producing packaging or a product that we don't carry, or a petroleum-based packaging manufacturer or product manufacturer that we can acquire, then convert their customers and their business to our plant-based materials, which is very similar to what we've done with our recent acquisition that we announced in May of Shepherd Thermoforming and Packaging based in Toronto. So where are we in our march towards this North Star? We're off to a smoking start. We today sell over 385 plant-based products to over 325 reoccurring B2B customers. These B2B customers that I mentioned earlier can be very large food growers, or it could be your local favorite restaurant or your favorite coffee bistro in your local city. But we also sell our products direct to consumers. It's our mission to detoxify the kitchen and the home by removing as much fossil fuels and chemicals and concerns from products that consumers like yourselves use every day. And we're on pace to transact online alone with over 10,000 customers. And then if you look at our acquisitions, we've completed our 3rd one, as I mentioned, back in May. And today our operation ships products to 50 of the 60 states and provinces across Canada and the US. this is reflective of our growth. We're entering what we call our hockey stick era, where last year we did just over $10 million. All of that growth was organic, while maintaining stable margins through that growth period. And when you look at our recent acquisition in May and all of our publicly announced organic growth, we are, and you combine it, we're on pace to annualize somewhere between 17 and $22 million over the next 12 months. Our business model is really designed around retail. My background is from retail. I pretty much grew up with Best Buy in the States, with my last role of being CEO of Best Buy brands in Europe, along with Senior Vice President of the international operations. And the model is really designed to provide steady, consistent growth levels while maintaining stable margins. And I think after Q1, you can see that we've continued our momentum of growth while maintaining this gross margin with a nice performance of just over $3 million versus the $2 million last year. The markets that we're disrupting are very large. If you just look at the FMCG good market, it's $600 billion. It's $150 billion just in the U.S. Their fastest growing segments are in the sustainable goods space. And when you look at even our recently announced pallet stretch wrap or our entry into flexible films, that market is over $100 billion. So the markets we're disrupting are petroleum-based, with the use of synthetic chemicals in their products, and we're a better alternative to consumers and businesses. So I'm not going to flip through every single one of our slides due to time. I do encourage everyone to go to investor.goodnaturedproducts.com to download our MD&A to get all the details. But I'm going to touch on a few more, and then we'll open it up to questions. I get asked a lot, why do customers buy from Good Natured? And I really say there's three fishing lures, and they kind of work hand in hand. It's not one thing. It's the combination. The first is the material. People are looking for safer materials to make products, whether they're commercial products, consumer products, goods not for resale products. And what I mean by better products, they're looking for products that are more sustainable, that use less fossil fuels, that remove chemicals of concern. And a lot of our customers, for the very first time, when we engage with them, is the very first time they've seen a plant-based alternative. But the material gets you in the door. It's the design of the product. Our product design has to be equal to the petroleum that we're displacing or better. So our engineering team, our marketing team, our product engineering team, we look at consumer eating trends, retail operational trends, food producing manufacturing trends, and we combine them to provide the latest packaging or product designs to help them either grow their sales or improve their day-to-day operations. And that's what's unique in our approach. Our approach is to provide better everyday products that help our customers make more money. And we service them through technology and through direct sales account management. The three plant platforms that we build our products on are fiber, which includes both pulp and tree-free fibers that are called bagasse, that are generated from sugarcane. We have our bioplastic materials. These are materials that have a component of renewable materials in them. They can commingle with petroleum plastics in the recycling stream without any contamination. Matter of fact, you can grind petroleum plastics and combine them with ours and produce a new product. And then we have what we call our biodegradable line. This is a 100% fully compostable. The package and the products, when industrial composted, they basically turn to dirt. So simply put, we make better everyday products from plant-based materials. We go out and find the latest renewable materials around the world. We then convert them into designs that are equal to petroleum or better, and we sell them at real world prices. We don't, we're not a Tiffany of bioplastics or plant-based products. I say we're the Costco, we're the Amazon. We want our customers to be able to reach these products, place these products without having to pay 3 times more, 2 times more than what they're paying today. And you'll see we have a couple images here. The bottom right one, I get a lot of questions. That's our industrial segment, where we sell truckloads of this roll stock material that's used to make food packaging and food services. And I'm going to wrap up that call by sharing with you really there's 2 reasons why you're investing in us. It's our leadership. We have a lot of really good senior leaders. I'd say they're oversized for a 16 million market cap company. But we're also is this business model. This is a kind of a flat view of our model where it centers on product authority. So the more products we put into it, like today we have 385 products. 2 years from now, we may have 2,000. We aspire to have 2,000. Today we have 325 customers, B2B customers. We aspire to have 2,000. And the more diverse customers we put into our business model and the more diverse products we put into our business model, the stronger and more formidable competitor we become. But we also really stabilize our revenue growth in creating that nice steady year-over-year growth that we've demonstrated. I'm just going to highlight prior to turning it back over to Paul for questions is when you look at these business groups, we've got 5 of them. So in the packaging space, we offer stock and custom packaging across 3 different types of packaging groups. One is food, so we cover all the fresh departments. The other is medical, so we do make medical packaging for medical devices. As an example of that is our COVID-19 testing clamshell that we're producing and for testing kits being used in Canada. And we also do general merchandise. And in food services, as Paul mentioned earlier, it's the takeout containers, it's the coffee cups, it's the forks, it's the knives. Products is the consumer products that we sell on Amazon and in retail stores. But we also have commercial products such as our medical face shields that are being used in hospitals for COVID-19. And then the industrial segment that I just had mentioned, that image of the roll stock. We do also have some other products that we offer in that, such as our pallet stretch wrap. And then we offer services, design services, engineering services, finance services across these business groups. So it's our goal, to continue this disruption in this hundreds of billion-dollar market, and we aspire to grow this company into North America's leading friendly product company. So with that, I'll turn that over to you, Paul and Sophie, to take any questions.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Paul. So when you talk about expanding, actually, you just finished on that, into North America, do you have plans to expand into Europe and Asia as well?
I'm never going to say never, but the US and Canada are such a big market, and it's just amazing. And we're, even if you look at what we've communicated publicly and the growth, like there's still so much growth here, and it's best for us to concentrate those efforts here in the US and Canada, whether it's growing our manufacturing footprint, whether it's growing our customer base. We just see in the next 2 to 3 years our concentration here in Canada and the US.
Excellent. How has COVID and the border closing created any disruptions in your business?
That's a really good question. You know, we are connected to the food supply chain, so none of our facilities have been disrupted at all. They've been open. We've taken steps and measures in improving our sanitation and our social distancing in our own facility, which is right outside Toronto, and our third-party facilities. Our office is just reopened. We've broken up the teams into two, and we're rotating them in. So that started back in June. So it was, I think the team overall, I'm really satisfied with how they've adjusted. Now, if you look across our business groups, which I left as a reference to the questions, we've had some areas that were hit hard, like, restaurants. Let's just face it, they were really impacted, including our, and that's not only in the food service our restaurant segment cuts across food packaging, food service, and industrial. However, that was offset by the tremendous, as you've heard, many grocery chains or combination stores have really boomed. E-com has really boomed, and we're engaged. Our supply chain products are part of that boom. So I think what's positive about it is we've held up really well against this unforeseen circumstance, and we've benefited in our medical space with the COVID-19 face shields and the COVID-19 test kits. And I will tell everyone on the call, Sophie, like, we're not building a business on COVID-19. We want the damn thing to go away. But what it has done is it's really strengthened our partnership with our medical customers. Like, they were in chaos, like they needed help, and we stepped it up. The team stepped it up. It was unbelievable what they did at our facility, and that builds loyalty, and that builds relationships, and we anticipate that will transcend the new programs outside of the COVID-19 programs that we're doing with them.
Well, that's phenomenal what you guys did. We have another question here. If you could maybe touch on the background of management and experience in, I guess, the food industry. I mean, we know yours, but maybe overall management, please.
Yeah, I'll start with Don Holmstrom. The guy's, I call him my big defenseman. Like, this guy's unbelievable. He's done over $1 billion acquisitions. He's tip of the spear on our corporate development. Very astute, very experienced, commercially sound. If you look at our chief strategist and marketing officer, comes out of the Canadian Fortune 500 retail space, an Ivy League grad. I call her the chief psychologist. I mean, she paints all the competitive weaknesses, strengths, how to attack them, where to attack them. She structured a data play. When you look at Good Natured, we use data. We're in our early stages of deploying our technology. I call it our technology generation. We've just entered into it. And that data is like, she looks at where COVID-19 breakouts are, what states are being impacted, what states aren't being impacted, what provinces have higher indexes for sustainable packaging. And she combines all that data, and we've been quite nimble, and we're getting quite smarter to attack it. Then Michel from Quebec, good friend. He's been in the petroleum packaging manufacturing space for, I tease him, longer than I've been alive. And just to speed up, we've got folks like Noel, who's been in the sustainable packaging material space for, I don't know, a decade. We've got, Kevin, who's our VP of Finance, who has been part of very large tech success stories. We've got Spencer, who's got 20 years in the capital market, with his last role being an analyst at Beacon. I go on and on and on, and so we've got a strong team, and you're backing a really good team. Like, for us, we're going to grow a big business here, and we aspire to grow a very large business here. And I think this offering is is a really good entry point at 14 cents, considering 2 times, the revenues. We should be in a range of, 28 to 30 cent stock price. So,
Well, it sounds like you have the team behind you, so that's excellent. Can you tell us who your main competitors are, and how you differ from them?
well, 99% of the time, we compete against petroleum-based incumbents, right? So these are the big guys, the Saberts, the Inlines, the Wind Packaging, and depending on the actual business group, it varies. Like, for example, we don't bump into a lot of plant-based packaging competitors in the food or medical. But we do bump into a lot of competitors in the food service space, and some of those competitors are actually our customers. We sell industrial roll stock to them. They produce branded containers or unbranded containers for the customers. But the food service, which is probably where we bump into the most plant-based competitors, just to be clear, and fiber-based competitors. We were in that space with just our industrial segment. Now we've entered with a full line of food service products. But I think it's really important, not just in the food service space, but across all of our segments. This is a huge industry. Like, this ocean is massive. You could probably have about 24 good natures out there, and we may not bump into each other, or we may come across each other once or twice on trying to win a client. That's how large it is. $1 billion petroleum packaging company in this space is not big. So, and then products, we have very few competitors in our consumer recycle bin products. And then the industrial segment, again, it's majority petroleum is who we compete against. So it kind of varies around all this. I think the short summary, we're first mover in this market, and we want to dominate it. And we're more focused on that than we are about a plant-based competitor popping up and, hurting us. Like, there's probably, I welcome more competitors in the plant-based space because it gives us opportunity to consolidate them and welcome them to the good-natured family.
And it's better for the environment. Which brings me to my next question. What is the production cost difference between bioplastics and traditional petroleum-based products?
Yeah, that's a question that it's not linear, right? So if you look at the virgin inputs of the material, they're for the biodegradable line, they're higher, and for the bioplastics, in some cases, the virgin inputs for the material can be the same or slightly higher. But the material only accounts for roughly 40 to 60% of your costs, and we don't use 100% virgin material in the products we produce. So we use what we call post manufacturing reclaim. We buy some of that reclaim. It's at a lower cost. We mix it into other products. So, it allows us to compete at price. And obviously we are, because we're winning business. So it's a tricky question in that if you look at the virgin inputs, yeah, it's higher, but virgin inputs, it's not 100%. And it only accounts for, like I said, 40 to 60% of our costs. So I think all in all, I can tell the individual who asked the question is, there's products that we are significantly lower than petroleum. And there's products where we're higher. And as a retailer, ex-retailer, that's being a good retailer. Like, not all TVs are priced the same. Not all bottles of water when you go to the grocery store are priced the same. Not all juices are priced the same. So, we're competitively priced, rest assured. But it's our goal and my leadership's goal to extract the best and most value out of all of our products, which means sometimes they're going to be lower than petroleum, sometimes they're going to be higher. But we can win business, or I'd say our business isn't impeded, obviously, because of price.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions about your products.
Mhm.
One being, what would you say is your top selling product?
Well, it I love, I'm a retailer, so I'm a product junkie, supply chain junkie. I love manufacturing and supply chain. So basically, single serve desserts, or what we call treats, is a real hot category. Everyone deserves a little treat through the day, and we have this one container. We call it, it's a 12 count mini bite container. We have it in a 12 count and a 6 count. We call it container 113 and 97, and that's been really hot. And I can share that because it's not, material, but we have got a collection of what we call these single serve treat bites. That's really hot in our packaging. And I also think another category that's quite successful is our custom packaging. And custom packaging is where we use our material engineers and our packaging engineers, and we work with a food producer or client to design a package to really serve their needs. And I really like the cut. We announced publicly here this year a couple custom packaging deals that were pretty material, multi-million dollars, multi-year. And we really build a sound relationship with the customer. I really like this category because you build friendships, it's real intimate, and you're helping them win business by creating packaging, which is a big deal in differentiating yourself on the retail shelf space. So that's been a big winner. And I'll just highlight a couple others. We've got a lot of good ones. Our handy recyclers. Go to Amazon.com, everyone, or .ca, and buy a handy recycler. Just Google Good Nature or Google on their search bar on Amazon. Handy recyclers. We're an Amazon Choice product there. We sell quite a bit of them. It really is popular in metropolitan areas, such as Montreal or Toronto, because we, like myself, live in a tower, and we've got all of our recyclables downstairs. So this one's got a little handle. You can carry them. You can wash it. And you'll be shocked. Like, it's priced really well. So so I would say go to Amazon, and it'll answer your price. And plus, we appreciate the business.
Well, that was actually one of the questions, where we could find your products. So I'm guessing on Amazon would be the best place to find them.
Yeah, our consumer products, you can find them on Amazon. Our packaging business, it's because we work with a lot of food producers. It may be in your local. I don't know who's attending where they live, but for example, we have herb growers in the States that distribute to every major retailer. We have smaller growers that distribute to your local grocery stores. Here in Vancouver, as an example, you can find those in those grocery stores. So it's a lot of our customers, they integrate their sustainable packaging messaging differently, but all of our packaging on the bottom says good natured. So just check out your produce area, and there's a chance that you may find our packaging in your local store.
Excellent. So we have quite a few questions, but we'll try and circle back with you another time, as we're hitting our time limit. So Paul, did you have any questions that you wanted to ask Paul?
Yeah, just a couple of quick questions.
Sure.
You're a green company, basically. So are you eligible
Yeah.
for any government grants or any kind of incentives from the government?
The Canadian government has been a big supporter. They're working very hard to develop the renewable economy here in Canada, and they want Canada to be a leader. And they really look at Good Natured, at least in my eyes. I feel like one of their superstar companies, because BDC is a big factor of our business. They set up a $10 million facility. They helped us. They did all the financing of the acquisition of the Shepherd Thermoform and Packaging. And between BDC and WIN has played a role in funding development of new products. Our latest product is our 100% microwavable, dishwasher safe, 97% plant-based food container that we're going to be selling in the retail stores, but also in hopefully next year at some point in time, and also in your local food store. So WIN's played a role in helping us develop new products. So it's been real positive, and you know that funding is non-dilutive, right? So we've been able to really, you know, the Canadian government's played a big role in getting us to this stage of growth and positioning us really to, you know, enter into our hyper growth stage. So
Okay. Another question. There's companies out there that are delivering food and they're plant-based products. There's like Good Food. There's Very. Are you like thinking about talking to them because they're sending stuff out, and you could package it eco-friendly? I mean, and they are putting themselves out as being plant-based and, you know, better than alternatives or whatever. So that's something to look at.
yeah, no, we're constantly looking at the food delivery segment. We do already have some customers in that space I can't disclose. But I, you know, I think for your listeners here, you know, the plant-based space is hot, and we're here working with you, Paul, to get the story out and to invite folks to participate in this round because, you know, our market cap at $16 million. Like if you look at some of them, they're just crazy. We're a bit unknown, and we're growing like crazy. And so if you want to add to your plant-based product portfolio, or you want to start your, you know, placements and creating a series of companies that are focused on plant-based, Good Natured is definitely a sound position to take or add to your portfolio in this space. This space is hot and it's not going away. You know, it's not going to go away. Like there's so much innovation that's taking place in these renewable materials. I think, you know, over the next 2 to 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you'll see more and more innovation. And Good Natured is going to be the go-to brand because we've got a large customer base, we've got a large product base. So as these new plant-based materials come out, we anticipate that they'll come to us because of our market leader position.
All right, and one final question, then we're going to wrap it up here. In previous talks we've had with you over the couple of years, your manufacturers of your products, you have an arrangement with them, right? Are they shareholders still? So like your manufacturing hub is protected, like you've got a good in there.
Yeah, when we first met, Paul, we were doing, I don't even think we were doing a couple $1 million. So we built a very sound supply chain. I am a supply chain, as I mentioned earlier. I could talk to you all day about it, but we do have some terrific partners. They're privately held manufacturers. We intend to, they hold about 10 to 12% of the shares. We're their exclusive plant-based division, but you know we're going to hold that 60% outsource manufacturing strategy, and we're now insourcing about 40% of our manufacturing with the acquisition of our Shepherd's Thermoform Packaging, which is based right outside of Toronto. So that's a 45,000 square foot facility focused on thermoform products. So in conjunction with our partnership at Lindar, but we have a really strong 1-2 punch, and I couldn't feel more lucky about the relationships and the support we've received over the years from the Hagelin family and the Pichons family. You know, so our ability to support growth through our supply chain, there's no concern. And even through what I consider one of the worst acute circumstances like COVID-19, what they have done is, you can write a book about it. The way they've stepped up, the way the people have stepped up, no disruption in the manufacturing. I mean, they just cranked it out, and that they deserve a lot of recognition as leaders, but they also, the team members in our facilities and in our partners' facilities, they fearlessly continue to service the marketplace and that's admirable. And so I think that 60% outsourced, 40% insourced is probably going to exist over the next 2 to 3 years.
Perfect. Well, Paul, as usual, great story. Thank you so much for presenting today. Thanks to everyone who logged in and asked the questions. If you have any further questions concerning the private placement, and if you want to get in touch with Fabian at Integral, please give Sophie a call and we'll give you the coordinates.
Yeah, or feel free.
Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, or just, feel free to email Spencer@goodnatured.ca or Paul@goodnatured.ca. We're between Sophie, Paul, and us. We'll get the paperwork and
we'll get it done.
Provide you the right support. Yeah.
All right, everybody, be safe, be careful, and we'll talk soon. Thanks so much, Paul.
All right. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your day.